So the remedy for the disease of the heart is within everyone's reach. It's only by exerting your consciousness and diligently relinquishing all desires that you can become the master of the mind. The mind has to be treated carefully by right reasoning, by the precepts of the Holy Scriptures, and by the company of holy ones. Engage your mind in works of good, guided by the light of your understanding, occupying your soul in meditation on God, guided by the divine light. The renunciation of a highly desirable object is very easy for one who is thus surrendered to the divine will. First unite yourself with your highest intellectual or abstract thought, together with your highest spiritual aspiration, and thus being the master of the mind, contemplate the divine spirit. It's only by exertion and fixed attention that the errors of the mind can be corrected. A calm mind is free of all anxieties, and one who has attained to this state, he cares not a fig for the subjugation of the world. Know that nothing is born or dies at any time. It's the mind that conceives of births and deaths, and its migration into other bodies and other worlds. And only the mind can subdue the mind. Or who could subdue a king unless he be a king himself? So think well of what I say to you. Since this world is just a passing parade, passing on to death and decay, how can you put your faith in it? And what constitutes pleasure and pain? For what is pain to one is pleasure to another, and what is pleasure to one is pain to another. Man makes much of his progress in this world, but there's no progress in the decaying world. It's a tempting dish. It's magical. It's an enchanted scene. It's like a sugar-coated pill. It's full of bitter gall within. It's like an extinguished lamp. Its flame is lost, fled, we know not where. Try to take hold of it and you have nothing. It's as intangible as mist. Know God. Serve those that speak of him to you, and you will know God. Grasp the opportunity of Satsang and the proximity of a teacher, and you will know God. Know that this world is just a network of your own imaginations, and it's represented by a presentation of error and ignorance that disappears in the light of true knowledge. It's the inward certitude of the illusoriness of the world that is termed perfection of knowledge. And equally, it's the knowledge of all things seen that is delusion of the mind. Therefore, it is right for us to rub these impressions from our mind diligently, ere they be the cause of our future birth. So the detached soul that remains sedate and steadfast in its inner consciousness gradually attains knowledge and is freed from the doom of future birth. But whenever the conscious soul entertains the idea of a form, the same becomes the seed of its rebirth or its future incarnation. So the Bhagavad Gita teaches us that for the future righteousness of the soul, it must ever be steeped in righteousness for its welfare. The soul brings forth itself and falls into the deception of its own choice. It then loses all sort of its freedom by its subjection to worldly life. While ever the soul cherishes the idea of a form, so the same it assumes unto itself. And while ever it cherishes a fondness for that form, it cannot return to its lost state of purity. That's why it tells us in the Scriptures that while ever there is the least attachment for the things of this world, you cannot have the highest knowledge. If you must love a form, then love the form of an avatar of God, for you truly will become what you love and serve sincerely. Feel your soul to be as the one soul that is said to be diffused over the whole universe, and say, what is there except this? Live a life of prayer, meditation, and selfless service. And by the sheer force of your purity, you will be then ready to tread the path of holy Adhyatma Yoga, where you will know in all truth that God is light, that God is power, that God is bliss, that God is love. He is immanent and transcending, beginningless and endless, supreme perfection, absolute goodness. Within you is the hidden God. Within you is the immortal soul. Die to live. Slay that self-arrogating little I. Live the divine life. Turn the gaze within and drink the nectar of immortality. Taste of the nectar of Atma. Wealth cannot give you this happiness. Wealth besets evil. It's the source of all misery. It passes from one man to another. So seek to taste the bliss of the self. The body is a great burden. Death is ever there waiting to devour it. Anger is the enemy of peace. Egoism is the cause of your bondage. Get rid of egoism, get rid of desire, and then you'll know that heaven sings in my body, in my heart, in my strivings. Heaven sings in my songs and has found fulfillment in my life. But to realize these truths, one has to have great love and longing for God. And without this love and longing for God, you cannot realize Him. You have to completely get rid of all desire for the world. Devotion is said to be green until it develops into such ecstatic love for God. And a man of green bhakti, he cannot assimilate spiritual instructions. It's only when the bhakti is ripe and he comes closer to God. And then he has no attachment for his family or for his possessions. He looks upon his family with compassion. He looks after them just the same. He does his duty. But to him the world is a strange place. He knows that Brahman alone is real. He feels in perfect awareness and pure consciousness. I am the knower of oneness. King of kings, Lord of lords, all are one. Brahman alone is real. The whole world is my body. Suffer and enjoy through all bodies. I work through all hands. I see through all eyes. I hear through all ears. All is good. All is one. All is sacred. I am all. I am all in all. I am thy immortal self in all. I am that I am. Maya cannot hurt me now. I know her ways. I know her tricks. She cannot hurt me now. Oh,